Now, the Valley's top teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
This week's Valley's top teacher is from the Academy for Academics and Arts in Huntsville. She's in her second year of teaching and has already made a positive impact on her students and coworkers with her kind heart and drive to serve others.
Well, I know it's your birthday.
Yeah.
We are celebrating you today with the honor of being the Valley's top teacher for the week.
Mrs. Sarah Bagwell got an extra special and well-deserved surprise on her birthday. She is known for putting a focus on the relationships she has with her kindergarten through third grade students in her special education class.
It's important, especially during the pandemic, to continue that connection and make sure we're all working together to get the students what they need.
She has 13 students this year, but makes sure every single child feels important.
I have some nonverbal students, so I want to make sure that they have the supports that they need in place to feel like they're being heard, even though they can't use their vocal voice.
Mrs. Bagwell is constantly cheering her kids on.
I think mindset and behavior is a big part of achieving goals. And if you have a positive attitude about it, then I feel like that just helps them more.
She's known for putting in the extra time to make sure her students have the best learning atmosphere possible.
Important to make sure that their learning environment is prepared and, a welcoming, clean, friendly environment. So I want to do whatever I can to make sure that that is in place for them.
Mrs. Bagwell praises the work of her kids and makes it a point to ensure that they are always being lifted up and encouraged by the people around them.
It's really important to make sure that each one knows that they're loved and that they're important to me.
Thank you, Mrs. Bagwell, for everything you do. And of course, this is the last week of school for most districts, so Mrs. Bagwell is the last top teacher for this year, and nominations will start being accepted again in August.